What is going on, everybody? Smash Bros. Pro 33 here, bringing you another Pokemon Black and White 2 Wi-Fi battle. And this is a standard OU match versus Swordblaze0. This is my round 2 tournament match of Mulvone 19's OU tournament. And this actually is a lot closer than the score might entail, because I was honestly in a real pickle for a little bit, but I just got that window of opportunity, and as you will see later, a certain Pokemon pulls the clutch for me. So, as you can see, this team is actually quite threatening, because I can't one-shot the Alakazam provided it's Focus Sash. His Landorus is kind of an issue because I don't have a reliable way outside of Mamoswine and or Thundurus to really OHKO it, because I mean, if it's Scarfed, it can probably KO Thundurus and Starmie or whatever. I don't even know. I'm just stating threats here. Keldeo is always a threat in the rain. Dragonite, depending on the set, can be an issue, and I can actually deal with Rachi pretty well because I have a couple of checks to it, being Mamoswine and Ferrothorn. So those are the teams, and without further ado, let's get on with the match, shall we? I'll just put a Trident Layers. Love this thing. So he's going to be leading off with Politoed just to get the rain up, and I'm going to lead with my Mamoswine, figuring that I can pretty much outspeed everything on his team. But I do not want to take the water type move, so I'm going to go into my own Politoed. Reason I didn't go to Ferrothorn is in case he predicts that and he has the Focus Blast. But judging by the fact that he had Scald, that is not the case, as his only attacking move is probably the Scald, maybe the Ice Beam. But here he's going to go for Toxic, not really a big deal at all. As you will see, Politoed barely comes in for the rest of the game, honestly, so it's not even that big a deal. So I'm going to switch out here, going to my Ferrothorn, because now that I know that this is a bulky Toad, I can take this thing out with Ferrothorn very easily. But he makes a nice switch, goes into his Dragonite, and I kind of need to scout out what this thing is. If it's physical, I can deal with it a lot easier, but turns out he's special, and he goes for the Hurricane, does a lot, gets the Confuse off, and I found out that he's Life Orb, so this is a fairly unique Dragonite. I've never seen an offensive special Dragonite before. But anyway, what's his face? He actually predicts my switch into Starmie to take the Hurricane, and goes for the Thunder and just completely annihilates my Starmie, and I did not expect him to predict that. That was really good on his part. But now there's one thing that can really outspeed his Dragonite, which is my Mamoswine, and I don't want to overpredict. I mean, the Politoed switch was so painfully obvious, but I didn't want to overpredict in case he predicted me to stay, or not to switch out or go for the EQ or whatever. And so that Icicle Crash does pretty negligible damage. So he's going to fire off another Scald. Does absolutely nothing to Ferrothorn, even in the rain, because Ferrothorn is just the best hit taker in the OU metagame. So now he's going to bring back the Dragonite, and I am going to go for the, I thought I was going to go for Thunder Wave, but I actually double out into Mamoswine, predicting him to switch out into Dragonite, because my Ferrothorn can't really touch Dragonite because I have Power Whip instead of Jar Ball, and even then it's not going to be doing a whole heck of a lot. So I'm just going to go for the Icicle Crash again, expecting him maybe to stay in, overpredict once again, but that's not the case. He's a smart player, just goes straight into the Politoed to take the hit, and judging by how well he's taking the hits, it's physically defensive, so I have to keep that in the back of my mind as I go out into Ferrothorn again to completely wall the Politoed, because can't really be statused by it. He probably doesn't have the Ice Beam, and even if he did, it wouldn't be doing that much. So he's just going to keep firing off Scalds here. I'm going to go for the Thunder Wave because, I mean, if you wanted to switch back out into Dragonite, I could cripple it pretty easily. But I managed to get the Politoed, which isn't a huge deal because I know that the Politoed was never really a threat from the beginning as soon as I found out it was bulky. So I'm going to go for the Leech Seed here. Hopefully get some good recovery back, as he's going to go for the Scald. And once again, it fails to kill me, but he ends up getting the Burn, which means my Ferrothorn is not really worth preserving anymore. If he didn't get the Burn, I would actually have tried and stalled some HP and stuff, because I am actually gaining back more than he's doing. but since he got the burn, it pretty much cancels that out. So now it's going to go into Howl's son. That, what's his face? Lander's T. As I decided to just set up a layer of spikes, expecting him maybe to scald and kill me off or whatever. So I'm just sitting there with the burn. There's no reason for me to switch out. Nothing else on my team wants to take an Earthquake. And in case he wanted to go for Stone Edge, predicting Thunderous to come in, didn't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm thinking maybe he's choiced, just based on the way he's playing it. But I don't know what item he's running. He's probably running, I think he's running Leftovers. But I go for the Agility, kind of foolishly, and he smacks me with a Stone Edge, and that just sucks because I probably would have been able to get the sweep off if he switched out, but the fact remains is that, well, that Lander's T is dead because I have the HP Ice. I really don't know why he didn't switch out to something. So now he has a full health Alakazam. I figured Thunderous would be a good asset later, so what I'm going to do is switch out into my Mamoswine to take a hit, and that is going to do a lot. I'm really surprised, and I guess he's trying to fake me into thinking that maybe he's Life Orb as opposed to the Focus Sash variant, but there's really no reason to not have a Sash Alakazam, so I'm just going to go for the Earthquake, expecting anything really to just come in and take damage, and Politoed takes 2 of those. Obvious red health crit didn't matter, and now I was going to go into Keldeo. Reason I stay in here is to scout the item because my Mamoswine is choice scarfed, which means I could pretty much tell if this thing is either Specs or Scarf or whatever item he has actually, because if he wasn't Scarfed, he would have been outspent and got hit with an Earthquake. So there we go, he's Scarfed. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to bring in my Mence, and I know for a fact that Jirachi cannot OHKO me whatsoever. So I am going to set up another Dragon Dance in his face. And because I guess this is a Rain Jirachi, he brought the Thunder. So he's going to drop one on it, and he's going to get the Paralysis, but it doesn't matter because I have the Lumberries. So Salamence basically just got up 2 free Dragon Dances. Now I'm just pretty much free to wreck the rest of his team because I'm +2 in attack and speed. And that Earthquake easily KO'd the Jirachi. Now he's going to bring in Keldeo, thinking maybe he can outspeed. That's not the case. I'm going to go for that Dragon Claw and clean take out the Keldeo at +3. No questions asked. Crit. I mean, I'm not sure. Did that really matter? Of course it didn't matter. Oh my jeez. Alakazam comes in. Obviously, I gotta break the Sash, so I have to go for the Dragon Claw. I don't want to mess up the momentum that I already have, because I am +4 at this point, I think. Yeah, I am. I'm +4. So, I'm just gonna go for a couple Dragon Claws. Managed to live the Psychic with 14 HP, and I actually did a calc on it, and Mence actually had an extremely slight chance of being KO'd from that range. So, unless he got max damage, he wouldn't have KO'd me. And last Pokemon is the Dragonite, which is going to get clean swept by the Dragon Claw, +5, no questions asked. And Mence doing that clean up, look at that. So that is going to be good game Swordblaze. Be sure to check him out. He does upload, he's got videos and all that fun shenanigans. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, Smash Bros. Pro 33, signing out.